We're here today at Farm & Co at Coogin for a workshop to summarise the last 2 years of a project that we've been working on with 5 vegetable growers in the Tweed Shire. We've been trying to improve the way they farm their land and improve their soil health and condition, and also to reduce their inputs on expensive and potentially harmful chemical fertilisers or pesticides and insecticides. The intention of this project is to increase the productivity of the tweed vegetable growers, but also increase their resilience in the way they deal with climate stresses like drought or flooding.
My name's Dave Forrest. I'm a farmer, consultant, educator from this Northern Rivers region. Soil health is critical for farmers. It's critical for productivity. It's critical for resilience against climatic and disease problems. It's critical to keep the environment clean. It's critical to be able to have a healthy environment to work in. So it's part of the farmer's requirement in running a business and also being a good community member. The issues that the farmers had in this project were ones relating to their soil types and their farming systems. So they needed some guidance in trying to address things like diseases coming into the crops through the roots, and salinity issues, some with productivity issues. So there was mineral, physical and biological problems to solve on variably on the different farms.
So I'm Michelle Stevens. We've owned this farm for 20 years now, and we've slowly been working through different things with Dave as I did the organic course with him, and over the last 10 years we've become totally organic. We've changed our cropping system where we used to do one type of vegetable for each plot, and now we just mix it up. It's just a totally different way of farming for us, and we keep all of our spare areas under lab or sunflowers, and sunflowers are for our visitors as well.
So cover crops are generally grown as seasonal varieties. So the main one we used, which in frost-free areas can be relative perennial, was Dolichos lablab. So it's a vining tropical perennial. It's very easy to manage because it's so aggressive. And it produces large amounts of organic matter, so 8 tonnes per hectare per season, growth season. So it's also got a deep root system, and it also drops a lot of leaves during that long growth period. So it's got a lot of characteristics that are suitable to the soil types that we grow on. We also used lupins, which are a more seasonal crop. So for an autumn, winter, spring sowing, it's a legume which will produce well at that time in the terms of bulk, and it's a smaller bulk, somewhere around 4 to 5 tonnes in a good crop of dry matter, but also cycling those minerals, calcium and phosphorus, and being able to fix nitrogen. So with a deep and penetrating root system, quite resistant to acid soil conditions that we were starting in some of those crops. So it was a good choice.
To try and address things like soil salinity in a greenhouse environment, one of the things we've been trying is to put in biochar into the greenhouses. That was one of the things that one of our growers, Rod from Summit Organics, has tried in his greenhouses to great results. We've seen dramatic reductions in some of those high salinity levels, both on the soil tests and from physical observations.
Biochar is any organic material that's been half burned, really. So all of the sort of free combustibles are taken off in the flaming section of it. It normally is around 400 to 600 degrees Celsius, and then it's quenched. So we take out the air and sometimes wet it, and that'll cause a process called pyrolysis. And so it'll leave the structure of that organic material intact with all the intracellular spaces as a framework, in a shell of carbon mainly. So that end product then is high carbon and will hold minerals and nutrients, and then the space inside can be inhabited by soil organisms. Biochar is interesting because it is multifactorial in the way that it works. It's able to hold nutrients, so it has a high cation exchange capacity, and also the structure of the biochar is actually hollow, so it's got airspace in there which helps in the soil, but it also provides a habitat for soil biology. So it gives a protectant factor for the soil biology as well. It can hold excessive nutrients, so sometimes you have toxins or other nutrients that are in excess. They can be bound onto the surface of the biochar, and it makes the place more root friendly. I was very impressed that the growers put the effort into getting the amendments on and carrying out the activities that are needed, and surprising to get quick results in some cases. The biochar was probably the standout in that, in terms of the salinity in the greenhouses, but there are also results in soil structure and nutrient availability across the board on farms. So these are all things that indicate improvements in soil health in quite a short time. We also had one farm that was historically devoid of earthworms, and during the project we actually developed, in particular with conjunction with the minerals and the cover crops, a healthy population of earthworms starting. Soil health is always improved by earthworms. In the variable conditions of the farms, we were looking to change different areas. So some of them had significant problems with the soil type, which are heavy textured soils. So we wanted roots to be able to drill down into that soil and create soil structure. So we used some mineral fertilisers like lime and rock phosphate, some legume cover crops to be able to drill down, fix nitrogen and recycle those minerals, but also at the same time develop soil structure around those roots in conjunction with the biology. Other things which are important was to add organic matter in the form of compost. So that adds nutrients, it adds biology of its own, and it also is a very root-friendly medium for the crops to grow in. So in combination with those other techniques, we're able to develop a healthier soil profile. Food is something which is not only a business, it's actually part of what we need as humans to survive. And the way to get that is through healthy soil. Healthy soil provides those minerals and those secondary metabolites that are in the food that keep those plants healthy, but they're the same things that keep people healthy. And so it's really important that consumers know that. They need to support farmers in having healthy soil so they can be healthy people.